Well, I am a stroke survivor of 15 plus years. So I have had problems with my walking and with my foot drop since the day I had my stroke. It's difficult to walk, period. And then to always have in the back of my mind that I can't fall because I don't want to break something. And I've actually had a history of having broken my right leg when a horse backed into me, and having walked off the edge of a ledge and significant break of my right arm and hand. So I know that that's always possible, and that lurks in the back of my mind. I have had a lot of physical therapy, and it's amazing over the 15 years there's been reasons for me to go back to have more therapy. And I've also had Botox injections to help with the stiffness and spasticity in my leg. Well, I've had a number of AFOs. I had a jointed one in the beginning, some that came almost to my knee, and they were okay. You know, I got around, and I really can't complain. I really walked better with them than without them. Then I started having trouble again, and my knee especially was snapping really bad. Even with my AFO, I was having problems. Number one, you can't go out and buy a lot of different shoes. It's only a certain kind of shoe with a certain size that fits, so that's an issue. Secondly, I was still having trouble with my everting in my foot, and even though I tried and practiced and such, it just didn't seem to improve.
Well, one of the first things I can remember is we were merely walking down the hall to our apartment, and suddenly she caught her toe just on the carpet. And I said, what's that all about? She fell. And she says, well, I'm just having problems, you know, more with my walking than I have had in recent times. And that was the first signal that something needed to be done.
My first experience trying the WalkAide and walking down the hall with a practitioner, I didn't slam my foot down on the floor like I did before, and then walking up steps to be with a lot more ease, being able to bend my right foot and pick it up and move up the steps, not to do one step at a time, whether I could do over, just like anybody else walks up steps. So I remember those two things as being really significant for me. I remember back in October when I was fitted, it taking only about an hour, and then we practiced in the hall and such, and I went on my way. And I actually put that WalkAide on when I left the office, and I didn't take it off till that night. So my daily routine, I get up in the morning, don't ask me what hour, not early, and put on my WalkAide. It's just part of getting dressed in the morning, and I travel extensively. I just take it off at night when I go to bed, and I don't ever think about not having it on. And it's just sort of part of who I am now. So it's been really easy, and it was very easy for me to learn to put it on myself. I can do it with one hand. So that part of it is beautiful, not a hassle. Since I have had the WalkAide, I have been able to walk with a lot more ease, and so my fatigue factor is lower, but it's allowed me to walk without my cane. It's allowed me to not be as fearful about falling and breaking something. So everyday life, I think it's just become a little bit easier, and I don't even think about it anymore. Another benefit of WalkAide for me is that I was having hip pain earlier, and it was due to the fact that I was turning my foot out so much. And looking at it long range to realize that this hip pain was going to, in the end, cause some hip bone deterioration, which is probably going to lead to a hip replacement. And, you know, right down the line, it didn't look to anything but bleak to me. So having the WalkAide, getting my foot straightened out, has in fact eliminated that hip pain. So I'm saying, you know, cheers for this, that this is one thing I'm not going to have to deal with in the future. I am hoping that it's going to be easier for me to walk on the treadmill easier for me when we bike because we have a tandem bicycle. Prior to having not having the WalkAide, I was having so much eversion that I couldn't use like the cross trainer because I'd walk right out of it. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to get back on that and use it with some regularity. You know that I have the ability to go and do all these things, but I now have these concerns about the hip pain and such, and I think that has now been erased, so that I can be continue to look at other opportunities, things that I don't even know about that are out there that we can consider doing together.